Welcome to the Paddock Show. We're at Silverstone National for a 2-day event. It's Saturday the 18th and we've got 20 races over 11 Formula. Come join us as we capture all the action throughout the day. So we're here with the 116 trophy. We've got Jacob and Lewis with us today. They had quite an unforgettable first race of the season, I would go forward and say, but I'm going to let you explain and tell us how your first race went and an incident on the start line.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think I'll ever forget that weekend for the wrong and right reasons. There was a mixture of good and bad, sort of what went on, really, wasn't there?
Yeah.
From all emotions of sort of Jacob's first race weekend, and then the unfortunate event of my first sprint race in the 116. Obviously, hitting a stalled starter at 40 mile an hour up the rear end wasn't ideal, but we managed to pull together and put on a good show.
Good. So to the viewers at home, obviously you went to launch the car off the start line and there was someone that stalled in front of you and you just went straight into the back of them. Yeah. Tell us the extent of the damage that was caused.
Well, unfortunately, because we were a few rows back from where the guys stalled it, a few lads managed to duck and dive and just dodge him. And I had quite a good jump and just hooked second gear. Then the green car in front of me is just really good reflexes, and then it's opened up and bang, So it was a fair whack. Sort of shock when it all happened, but it was pretty bent,
It's been great to learn more about the initiative to bring women into motorsport through Formula Women.
I haven't had any experience kind of before this. I've not done any races, not done any track days before the one with Graham. And I've always enjoyed motorsport. I've always been brought up. I love cars. I've never had a really boring car in my day-to-day car. But I've just always enjoyed the adrenaline of motorsport and stuff. But I just entered it because my girlfriend at the time, my girlfriend at the moment, she was like, oh, I'm entering this, I think you'd enjoy it, you're off work at the moment, why don't you come along and we'll just have fun, enjoy it and see what happens. And I just went along and enjoyed it, loved every second, embraced and soaked up all the knowledge and then the experience of the girls around me, and somehow managed to win it. So it's just absolutely incredible, the situation that I'm in at the moment. It's just bonkers.
I really do like that car. But anyway, now we're going to go and speak to Scott and Ryan Parkin from Darkside Motorsport to tell us all about their motorsport endeavours. And I think you're the only cars on the grid that are diesel. So obviously quite unique in themselves, and even the Audi TTs don't see too many of them. So why diesel? Why bring that to the grid?
I suppose it's what our main business is anyway, so we might as well run a diesel race car and see. We've not really got an advantage in, like, we can go longer in the pit stops and stuff. It's all mandatory anyway, but we could do a full race without a pit stop, whereas all the petrol cars can't. So it'd be nice to find a championship that's not got mandatory pit stops, but the stuff that we race in, we enjoy it, it's competitive. So and I think it's a good promotion for the company. We do a lot of testing, a lot of research and development on the actual products that we're going to sell to customers, and I think we're probably the only company in the world running a diesel at this horsepower per litre for this long. I don't think even the Le Mans engines were running at way less per litre, so we're showing that it can be done, and hopefully reliably.
As a testament to your work, obviously, and clearly, you enjoy the motorsport side. I understand you're racing today in road sports. You're at Club Enduro tomorrow. Just tell me about the competitive nature between you two as brothers.
Until this season we didn't really have to worry about it because I was in Class B, Ryan was in Class A, but now it's changed a bit, so to make sure I beat him, I've got all the toys on my car. So I've got the all-in suspension, and last race I did have a sequential box which we've had to convert back to manual for a few small issues, but so I haven't got all the toys, but I've still got a few more toys than Ryan at least, so he'll still be faster anyway.
Welcome back to another exciting day at Silverstone National. It's Sunday 19th of May and we've got action coming up from the MR2s, Classic Stock Hatch and Formula V. But first of all, let's go visit the rescue team and see what they get up to. So we're here with Andy Bumstead, who is the crew chief of one of 750's rescue units. Before we talk about the rescue unit and what role it plays in a race weekend, just a little bit about yourself and how you got into managing this.
So I've been in motorsport now for about 35 years. Started off doing motorcycle recovery with my uncle, so he got me into it. I then sort of thought, oh, that looks quite nice marshalling, so I've actually done a fair few years out on the bank, marshalling, waving the flags and dealing with incidents on the track. And then I got invited to come on about 10 years ago, 14 years ago, somewhere around now. And since then, I've never looked back. We took over the unit here from about 2017, and I also maintain the fleet as well of rescue units, so very heavily involved in it.
Awesome. And we are outside Silverstone's medical centre. We've just been inside. We've seen a little bit of a morning brief, a bit of training that's going on.
Yes.
Obviously, we have got the medical centre. We've got the paramedics, the ambulances, and the rescue units. So what is the main difference between this vehicle as a rescue unit and a paramedic?
Okay, so our vehicle here, so we do carry the same equipment that a paramedic may carry on their ambulance. We also carry similar equipment that a fire engine may carry, so you may see behind you the jaws of life, what we call. So if needed, we can extract the driver safely using various methods, so making big holes in cars. Unfortunately, it does destroy the car at the end of the day, but we do obviously want to get the driver out as safely as possible. We can then hand over to our colleagues, the medics, and they will obviously then bring them back to the medical centre. And if you're going to have an accident, the best place to have an accident is actually at a race circuit, because within 90 seconds you're going to get some sort of medical intervention.
What a great interview with Andy, crew chief from the rescue team. Now let's hear from a marshal. So we're here in the pit lane at Silverstone with Tony Apshon. Obviously one of the marshals today. I'll let you talk about your role and the part you play. But first and foremost, how did you get into marshalling?
Well, completely accidentally, actually. I was watching an F1 with Martin Brundle only about 18 years ago, and he said that, we're always short of marshals, it's a voluntary role, and I had no idea it was voluntary, and as you know, we're all unpaid, and I thought, I'd really like to get into that, so I kind of did what he said, which was look online, and that's how I started, and that ended up with my wife racing as well with 750, so it's kind of a good move for us all those years.
Play now as a marshal?
It can be lots of things we do. I can be out on circuit dealing with drivers' mess when they've gone wrong and broken down, or it can be off track, which is pits, start line, assembly, which is where the cars go for pre-grid. So I'm dual graded. So we've got two types of marshal, off track and on track, and I'm actually dual graded in both. But today I'm chief start line, as it happens.
Each formula, there's always a newbie coming through. So now let's go and speak with one of our rookies from the MR2 Championship. So we're here with Joseph Jones, racing the MR2 Championship. I understand this is your first ever weekend racing, and in a car, not only in the MR2 Championship. Tell us a little bit about your experience to date and how you've found yourself here.
Yeah, so I grew up doing junior go-karting from about the age of 11. Did that right up till I was 16, 17 when I got booted out of the junior championship. Then, like most people, real life starts up. So took about a 15-year break and decided go-karts are a little bit too small for me now. So decided to get into car racing.
Some great insights there from Joseph. We wish him all the best today. Now we're going to hop over to Formula V and speak with some seasoned pros, Francis and Vaughan.
All the work apart from the engine and the gearbox, so all the prep is done by myself and my wife, Caroline. And so we get it all prepped, ready for the race, and then if any problems happen during the event, then we sort it all out ourselves. But obviously with help from Francis and everyone else in the paddock, because we're quite a friendly bunch.
Awesome. And Francis, over to you. Does that help with the costs, or is it more that you enjoy, the tinkering side and improving the car?
Yeah, it's a bit of both, really. I think, as we know, motorsport, this can be expensive, so doing as much as you can really help to bring the costs down. But yeah, I've learned so much over the years. As I said, I came in with zero knowledge of anything. I'd never raced, I never turned a spanner on anything at all, and slowly building up the knowledge, still learning, and yeah, as Vaughan mentioned, if something does go wrong, as I've had some problems with the oil pump in practice during testing. There's those with the expert knowledge around. So yeah, it's a great formula overall. So
It wouldn't be a paddock show without looking around one of the cars. So follow us as we go and check it out. So we are with one of the Alfa Romeo Championship cars, this very well prepared Mito, but definitely different to your standard road going version. So it doesn't come out of the factory like this, and we're going to talk you around some of the key features that help this car really perform on track. So we're going to start off with the front end and this huge splitter at the front, which is going to help generate downforce on the front end and really provide that front end grip. Something mandatory for all race cars is to have a very easy exposed towing strap. So if you do have an incident, then you can get recovered off circuit. But as we walk round the car, we've got these flared bolt-on arches which house these huge slick tyres. So you can run a full slick tyre on the Alfa Romeo Championship, so that's going to provide you with plenty of grip. As we walk round the car, you can see further flared arches at the rear and these slicks tucked up right into the wheel well. And round the back, my word, that is a very big diffuser. So a very big diffuser there. That's going to generate plenty of downforce on the rear end. And as we continue to walk round, we've got some air ducting for the driver. You can't have the windows down, there's no aircon. If you want ventilation, that's the only method. So plenty of ventilation for the driver. And finally, these huge brakes. I can tell you that they are not standard. They must be off another Alfa Romeo model, but certainly huge under those wheels. We're going to have a quick look under the bonnet and tell you a little bit of a story here. And this actually started life as a 1.4 turbo, is now a 2-litre turbo out of the 4C. The owner tells us that they wanted to develop this engine, but they didn't want to do it in a 4C and risk that on circuit. So they put it in one of these Mitos and they developed it to run 400 horsepower reliably. And you can see that's aided by some of the big intercooler. We've got a big radiator further down there, a turbocharger. And actually, if we look into the right-hand corner of the engine bay, you can see those two red handles. That's for safety measures. You've got ignition cutoff and the fire extinguisher as well. So if you are involved in an incident, the marshals can actually activate those from the outside. So yeah, key to racing is having those safety equipment in place. And just finally, we're going to treat you to the inside of the cockpit. This is just as interesting here. We'll talk about some of the regulated safety measures, which include this very extensive roll cage, which not only protects the driver from an incident, but also increases the stability of the car through stiffening the chassis. In the driver's footwell, you can also see this is completely not standard. It's a custom floor-mounted pedal box, which again just allows the driver more control over the brakes and increasing that brake feel. Just above as we get to the steering wheel and a dash setup, you can see that digital dash, which is going to display multiple things about the engine, from temperatures to pressures, but also lap time for the driver. And we've actually got further electronics on the roof. We've got a nice switch set here, which includes engine map. I can also see anti-lag, launch control and traction control as well. So yeah, clearly this is an advanced car running in the Alfa Romeo Championship. Yeah, it's something completely custom. It's great to see, and hopefully they'll get a good result today. It's important to provide a platform for education in motorsport. Let's hear from a 116 trophy team doing just that. We've got the university car behind us, but tell us a little bit about the initiative behind the setup here.
So the idea is we want to get our students a degree and we want to get them experience at the same time. Usually when you're 18 and you want to be involved in motorsport, you have to think, well, do I want to go down the route of getting a degree, or should I just go to work? and get experience. What we're trying to do is give them the degree and experience. We want to give everyone the best of both worlds. So what we have here, we've got our BMW 116, which is completely built by the students at university and completely run by them as well. So they do everything from the tyres, the mechanics, the engine to the data. Absolutely everything is done by the students, and they've worked so hard.
Well, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today. It's been an amazing weekend at sunny Silverstone, and our next Paddock show will be on the 20th and 21st of July at Cadwell Park. We'll see you there.